How to become a super attractor. Now, this next point is something that a lot of us overlook, and we're almost on autopilot, especially here in the West. But you got to turn up your divine feminine energy. Divine feminine energy is inward energy. It's attractor energy. A lot of us in the West, we have wounded masculine energy because we are programmed to hustle, 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 grind our face off, get rich or die trying, and all of that type of stuff. That's very much wounded masculine energy, and it's outward energy. How are you going to attract if you're sending your signal out? That's not attractor. That's the opposite. That's go out and do, which also works. But it's the attractor energy. The heart is the energetic house of the divine feminine. This is inward attractor energy. And as I mentioned earlier, when you're manifesting from your heart space, what does this mean? You've bypassed the ego. The ego is the one that tells you you need to get that to be complete, or you need to get this to be happy, or you need this person to come back to validate you and make you happy, or whatever the story is. The universe is always going to mirror back to you your story, right? But when you go inward, you sink into your heart space and you amplify that divine feminine, you step into a new level of wholeness, completeness, and just higher consciousness, because you're on the love frequency. Love is not in survival mode. Love is not in fight or flight, guys. That's the lie of the ego. You know, when love is whole, love is complete. Real love is actually unconditional. It doesn't come with conditions. It doesn't come with the condition that someone needs to come back to you. It doesn't come with the condition that you need to get this or you need to get that. Love just is. It's the dominant frequency of source. So if you are overworking and getting burnt out and you're confused as to why you're not attracting what you want to attract, well, it's because you're not in attractor energy. You're in outward energy. Get that inward energy going. When you step into your heart space, it's almost like you've got a tractor beam, like you've almost got your own gravitational pull, because you're not coming from a place of lack. The heart's not lacking anything. The heart is not under the delusion of duality and finiteness, right? Because your soul and your higher self, that's the heart is the radio for them to communicate with you. So your heart is energetically on a higher level of consciousness than the ego, for sure. So when you're attracting from the heart, you're not attracting from a place of lack. I don't have it. I need to get it. I'm not it. I need to attract it in. Am I worthy of it? Am I not worthy of it? Did I pass a test? Did I earn it? You know, that's all ego nonsense. So you got to get into the heart. And what is inward energy? Divine feminine energy. It's going within to heal unhealed trauma. The unhealed trauma exists within, right? So you're going to have to amp up your divine feminine energy to heal the unhealed trauma anyway. You've got to go within. So amp up that divine feminine energy. And when you amp up your divine feminine energy, the wounded masculine and wounded, we have all these terms in the spiritual community. I'd like to have voted on some of these terms, but I don't know. But anyway, I won't get off on that. But wounded just means out of balance. It's just turned up way past where it needs to be. And it's hogging up all of the space, basically. But when you turn up your divine feminine energy, the excess masculine energy is allowed to retreat a little bit, because it doesn't feel like there's a threat. It doesn't feel like there's a threat to survival, because your level of wholeness and completeness is rising because you're in your heart and not in your head. Well, how am I going to do it? What are the hows? Well, how much will it cost? And can I afford it? And can I do that? All that nonsense is out. You're in your heart. The heart's not asking those questions. It's the ego that has to know everything, or else it's in, fight or flight. So, but when you sink into the heart space and you've got that inward energy, that's where you're able to start to heal any trauma that has you believing that you're not worthy of whatever it is that you're trying to attract. And you just sink into the understanding that you actually are it. But you're going to have to do the inward energy to do shadow work and all of that type of stuff. But when you're inwardly focused, you're starting to break those shackles of fear. Now, I've said in previous lives that fear is the barrier to expression, and your authentic truth is wanting to express itself. But if there's a lot of fear, you may not be able to fearlessly express. So when you heal trauma, those shackles of fear begin to break, and then your authentic truth comes to the surface. And as I've said before, be your authentic self and the world will adjust. But I also like to say, be your authentic self and you will attract the world. Why is this? Because as I say, when you're your authentic self and you're not seeking validation from the world, you're not seeking approval from the world, you're not trying to get anything from the world, you get your own gravitational pull and everything just comes to you. You don't have to, research the law of attraction and this technique and that technique and the 3-6-9 technique and the writing it, this and that. None of that matters. When you are it just shares the same vibrational space with you, because it's just another fractal, another extension of yourself on the same frequency. Birds of a feather. If you are abundance just shares the same space with you.